So the topic of today is a serious topic. It's about the question of attachment and detachment. It is said that if you don't have any attachment, you will not be born. Because you have some attachment, that's why you are born. So attachment very much is that we come in this world with, and that which we struggle about the most. Okay? So, what is attachment? In the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, it is said the 5 causes of suffering. One is spiritual ignorance, not knowing who you are, believing that you are somebody else. Is asmita, means egoism, believing that you are somebody else. Raga dvesha is a swing of the mind between attraction and repulsion. Basically, attraction here is attachment. And the last is the fear of death, or attachment to this life, or attachment to this body. So these are considered by the scripture to be the 5 causes of suffering in this world. So that means if you don't want to suffer, you have to wake up from your spiritual ignorance and control your likes and your dislikes, the swing of the mind, and control your attachment through called detachment. Okay? So that's the topic of today. The Yoga Sutra says that attraction is that which dwells on pleasure, and aversion is that which attempts to avoid pain. And this ocean of samsara, that means that wheel of birth and death, is that continuous cycle of attachment and struggles, detachment, and again reattachment. So we are lost in the up and down waves. It's like an ocean. You are drowning. You are lost in that ocean of up and down. You are lost in the fact that you are identifying with what you do and with everything. You don't know your true self. So you attach to things, thinking that it is you, and you suffer, because attachment brings suffering sooner or later. Attachment is like a prison. It makes you lose your sense of freedom, because you believe that your happiness comes from your association with your identification with some external thing. So that's why you lose yourself in the attachment, in that you think that will make you happy. And the more you are very fearful, because attachment brings fear. The more that you are fearful, the more you are attached. You're fearful because you're afraid that you will not be able to be happy. You're fearful because you believe that this is your way to happiness, and you cling to something because you think this is the way, and you are fearful that you don't get it. So that makes the attachment deeper, stronger, more difficult to deal with. Remember, the attachment changes forms. You might be attached to something now, and then you detach yourself from it, and you attach to something else. But it's the same attachment. You're just changing objects. Okay? So that I will give you a little list of different possibility of attachment. Number one is you are attached to emotions. You are attached to certain emotional fulfillment. Now we said pleasure. You got it and you are attached to it. Number two, you are attached to relationships. Losing yourself in relationships. Number three, you are attached to everything that is asat. So asat means that doesn't have the nature of the truth. Your true nature is Satchidananda, truth, existence absolute, knowledge, and bliss absolute. But you are attached to the asat, the non-truth, to the impermanent, to things that are changing. So you imagine your anxiety, you are attached to something that by nature is changing. So you're all the time anxious that you would lose it. Everything is changing. So you're attached to the past, things that happened in the past. And when you're attached to the past, you also is attached to the future. The projection of the mind that is dwelling on the past becomes the future. So you're always missing the present. So when you live in the present, then you attain to freedom because you are not attached. Okay? But when you live in the past or in the future, you are attached and you miss out of your life. So you are to attach to the impermanent, and you need to be detached from that which is external. The reason why is you need to count on something within yourself that say, I know. The consciousness within you, the sense of knowing within you is always there. That is your Satchidananda nature. So you need to turn back to yourself, recognize your own self, feel secure with the self within you, and be detached toward the external, and the sense of knowing who you are, the sense of knowing is your own self. But the attachment of something external is not yourself. Okay? The attachment to God, even though you think it is external to you, but it's not external, because God is including you. If you attach to God, it's a different story than attachment to anything external. Swami Sivananda, before he died, he said 2 words: attach, detach. That means attach to the Lord's feet and detach from everything else. We do the opposite. We attach to everything else and we detach from God. So, another type of attachment is attachment to the senses or to the objects of the senses. Believing that the object of the senses giving us the happiness or the pleasure we want. So I tell you the story of a lady that is dropping her needle inside the house, but she goes outside and she looks for a needle everywhere. So somebody passed by and asked her, where did you drop your needle? And she say, I drop it inside the house. And there is no electricity in the house, electricity. So why do you search for it outside? She said, inside is too dark. Outside there is light. So she looked for her happiness where it doesn't exist. It's like we lose our happiness and we're looking for our happiness, but we go outside, which is go out in the world of the senses to look for our happiness. But it doesn't belong there. Therefore, we might think that we find some happiness, but then it doesn't satisfy us. So that's why we become very restless as we attach to the wrong thing. So we need to turn within and find the fulfillment within. So now we continue the list of possible attachment. We are attached to our action, to the sense of doership. Some people like to work, and they attach to the result of their action. They constantly want to accomplish things. They may be perfectionistic, and they work very hard for a result. But then, things change all the time. Whatever you do, it will be changed. Some people will destroy your work, and you yourself never feeling happy because you never feel that you are accomplished. So this attachment to action and to doership brings a lot of suffering. And in yoga we said we are attached to our thoughts. That means we are attached to our habits. So thoughts are very imprinted in our mind, and we are attached to our thoughts. So we cannot stay still for a moment without thinking, and we like our thoughts. So we rehearse our thought again and again. We define ourselves with our thoughts and our habitual tendency, mental tendency. But thoughts are not you. They change all the time. So this is a cause of suffering. So we can go on and argue with people when they have different opinion than us, or somebody criticize our thoughts or our habits, then we become very upset because we are very attached to our way of thinking. And then we can be attached to the ideas of who you are. So it's not we are attached to who we are. We are attached to the ideas of who we are. Then we need to ask the question, who am I? But you can see, if you ask truly the question, who am I? The answer to that question of self-inquiry, who am I, leads you to your true self that is independent from all the characteristics of yourself that you superimpose upon the self. Who am I? Am I my nose? Am I my physical appearance? Am I my age? Am I my gender? Yeah. Am I my relationship? Am I the daughter of so and so famous? Am I the wife of so and so beautiful? Am I my certificates, my accomplishment? Am I my titles? Am I my position? Am I my emotions? Am I my clothing? My appearance? Am I this image of myself? So the list can go very long. So we are very attached to this idea of ourselves. And we change our idea. Someday we would maybe make our hair blue. Yeah. Or someday we just completely change our set of clothing. We behave like somebody else, or we imitate some kind of famous star. So then we are attached to it. So we are attached to different idea of ourselves, but it's not ourselves. Yeah? And the last point is we are attached to life, to our body. So I must be attached to my talk because I forgot to guide you in meditation. So we'll guide you in meditation at the end. Yeah, normally the satsang is meditation first and then the talk. I go on, I see your face and I get somehow pulled in. I wonder why. So anyway, the attachment to life is the last point. To life means to the body. And Patanjali said this is one of the causes of suffering. Let me read. Yeah. So this is called the fear of death. It's a continuous desire to live, which is rooted even in the minds of the wise. That means it's very strong, very deep. Why? Because the fear of death is a fear of loss of identity, of letting go of the ego. So we said earlier, is attachment to our an idea of ourselves, our identity. To the sense of myself separate and different than others. So how attachment comes? Of course, it comes from the ignorance of our Satchidananda true nature, our fulfilled self, our complete self, our happy self. So you are not aware of that self, but you are aware of the mind. The mind is the instrument of the self. So the mind has to go through this and that in order to learn the lesson, the reason why you are born. But you get lost in the lesson, you get lost in this thinking, and you believe the thinking is yourself. So that is the reason why the mind is an obstacle. The mind always brings about attachment, and the nature of the mind is to repeat itself. Whatever thought that you have will get imprinted in the mind. Let's say you never ate a certain type of cake. So then you eat it, and then it gets imprinted. So I have to guard myself because today somebody invited me to go for breakfast to eat a special kind of breakfast cake, Vietnamese breakfast cake. That is rice, round. So anyway, I don't know. I know by the name, but I did not know what is it. So I have to guard myself that this new kind of cake will be attached to me or I am attached to it. then it become whatever you experience, it creates an imprint. And then it reproduces again the imprint. And again, you see. And your mind will find opportunities to keep reproducing it. So then the imprint become very deep and become a groove, it become a habit, and it become an attachment. So detachment is the way out of the samsara. So this attachment makes us go deeper and deeper, get entangled, get bound, get feeling that we are not ourselves, that we are not free. So we struggle to release the attachment. Most of the time we are not capable to release our attachment. It makes us suffer, suffocate us, we don't feel free. And detachment is the way out of this samsara, this ocean of suffering. So I just give you a list. In order not to be so involved in life and in what you are doing and what you are feeling, and get very fearful that you might lose them, the advice is to live lightly. You live what you need to live, but live lightly. No karmic footprint. And we talk about our living on planet Earth and not creating scar to this earth and make our children and our future generations suffer because we leave our trash behind, and then we cannot recover from the ecological impact of our way of life. So we need to live lightly. So that's the general idea nowadays. But I would say, don't live also the karmic imprint. You know what that means? Whatever you need to do because of your karma, do it, but do it lightly. That means do it at the same time, be detached from it. So you don't get yourself deeper into that, deeper into this wrong belief that this is the truth and this is who you are. So you need to be living lightly. Everything live through life, but in a very comfortable, nice, not too dramatic, not too intense, because we are very passionate. So whatever we want now, and we get very attached, and then it's always a big drama. We fall in love, and then we fight for with our circumstances to get whatever you want or the person you want, and then you fall out of love and you fight with the other person, for taking your freedom. So it's always some kind of big fight, due to our rajasic nature or our passionate nature and our strong kind of swing between likes and dislikes because of our past habits. We are afraid of abandonment. We are afraid of rejection. We are afraid of not being able to count on the person that you are attached to. So you have that insecure attachment since childhood. It can be since childhood. So it's very deep. Or, the opposite, we can be very repressed. We are afraid of attachment. So we can be very repressed and not be able to trust anybody and feel lonely and feel isolated. That's also a reaction to our tendency of attachment from the past, but it's not really the right way how to solve our problem of attachment. So it is that you need to live with detachment, live lightly, control your tamas and rajas nature. The tamas is that darkness, that pulling down, and the rajas is that passion, that projecting nature. So you need to live a sattvic life. So the sattvic life can happen if you lead, if you follow called the 5 points of yoga. That means if you do your asanas daily, the reason why the asanas help you to be detached, because it regulates your prana. When you perform asanas, your prana is moving, yeah. So then it doesn't get stuck, okay, and it's unblock some energy blockages. So energy blockages create the attachment. Okay? So you do your asanas daily, and you also do your pranayama daily. The way how pranayama will help us to be detached is the pranayama, or the breathing exercise, with a certain count in a certain way, regulation of the breath, will help to purify the nadis. The nadis are astral nerves that transport the prana all over the body and the astral body. So then when you do the regulation of the prana, it purifies the nadis, and again, it helps you to go inside instead of, getting stuck, yeah, in the desire, want to go outside, and the fear and the trauma or the difficulty of the past that make you fearful. So you at sometimes you want, but you don't want, and you are getting very entangled. So then you have a blockage of prana. So pranayama will help to purify your flow prana or energy, help you to go inside to look for the happiness within. So that's why the practice of pranayama is very, very important daily to keep yourself balanced, keep your mind balanced, keep your expectation, your desire under control, keep your emotions calm. Okay? So that is the point number 2. The point number 3 is relaxation. So if you can learn how to relax physically, savasana, mentally, and instead of being too intense and being too stressed, you learn to think of something that is uplifting, neutral, uplifting, like repeating your mantra or invoking a divine vision, or something of nature is very comforting. So then you relax your mind, so you don't allow your mind to go too much into intensity. Okay? So proper relaxation, and then a proper diet is very important, because whatever that you eat will create the energy in your mind. So if you eat the food that is dark, then tamasic food, then your mind will become also very attached, and it's not able to see the big picture. And if you eat the food that is very angry or desirous and rajasic, then your mind also will be like that. So it's difficult for you to get out. So just by simply choosing the food that is simple and is pure, your mind will be more pure, and it's easier for you to become detached. Okay? So the proper diet, the positive thinking, is you need to clear your mind from a certain habitual tendency. For example, anger, fear, anxiety, lust, jealousy, envy, by working directly with your thoughts, working directly with your mind to be free from this tendency of the mind. Because when the mind is not sattvic, is not flowing, is not open, then all these mental habits of the past that create this emotional pattern will keep reoccurring. Yeah, when it keep reoccurring, then again you keep falling down into this mental habit groove, yeah, that are not helpful. So it's important to keep the mind all the time positive, all the time calm, all the time positive, all the time loving, without attachment, and to practice daily meditation when you completely detach from all thoughts, and then you turn within and you enjoy the self. So when you meditate, the idea is you would have the direct connection with the self that is that can be experienced when you are not pulled outside in the object of the senses, and when your mind become calm. When your mind become calm and concentrated on something positive, then automatically you will find the self that is within, that is calm, that is of the nature of Satchidananda. Sat means existence, so you are not worried, you are not fearful. Why? Because you feel very secure. Yeah, you have all the time in the world. Yeah, and Chit means consciousness. So again, here you feel certainty, you feel brightness, joy, because you know. Okay? It's not a sense of you don't know, but it's a sense of knowing that is making you very strong. And Ananda means bliss. So you have the connection with your bliss that come from within. Okay, so there is 4 ways of detachment, which I can explain to you. According to the 4 yoga paths, then the first one is called the Karma Yoga detachment. And the Karma Yoga detachment taught you that everything you do in this life is due to your karma. Okay, so Karma Yoga detachment say that you need to be detached from what you do, from the idea of what you do, the idea of gain, the idea of loss, the idea of accomplishment, the idea of failure. If you want to be peaceful, so you need to kind of renounce. Detachment is renounce. You kind of renounce the idea of doership. Okay, so you do it, but you dedicate your action to God or to somebody or to humanity, to something that is not yourself. So you don't gain any thing out of it. So it's called selfless service when you are giving up the result. So even if the strong attachment, like if you are a mother, you are strongly attached to your children, because you raise the children since when they were young, you take care of them, you sacrifice a lot for them, so then you are very attached to them and you have a strong expectation of them. So even that you need to let go. It is said by offering your job or your dedication as a mother to God. That means you do the duty as a mother, you take care of your children, you do the best you can, and then you offer the job or the result to God. That means at that time you are not taking the ownership or the doership of the motherhood. Okay, You have the sense, a strong sense of motherhood, and you want to do that, fine and good, but you don't appropriate that feeling. Yeah, you would just do it as your duty, and then you offer the result of your work. You take care of the child, and you say, God has sent the child to your life, and you take care of the child for a period of time, and you offer up the result. Okay, so mother, think about this. It's difficult to do because the nature made that you have a sense of the motherhood makes that you feel attached, of course, because if you are not attached to the child, you forget to feed the child. You will not wake up when the child cries. You see, so the nature made that you are attached. Okay, but the best way you can do is you feel a sense of duty. Okay, the natural attachment is there, but you need to learn to work on your detachment. That you do your duty, you love the child, but it's not belonging to you. It's belonging to Mother Nature. It's belonging to the divine. You have a divine child, and it's a divine duty, very precious, that you take care of the child, but it's not yours. See, so that slowly you have to work on that idea. You Karma Yoga detachment means you would also be detached toward people praise or censure. Okay, so people who praise you for what you do, but they also criticize you for what you do. Yeah, so then you need to keep the praise and censure the same way. Because with the work comes the title, comes the position, comes the money, comes the recognition, the social recognition. So that's why you are more attached to the kind of work you do, because of people recognize your value from the title or the job that you do. So then you feel more secure, temporarily secure in this identity. But it can change, and when it changes, then it's a big drama because you have to change that identity. So try to refrain yourself from identifying with what you do. Okay? So the body is doing, the hands doing, the arms doing, everything is doing, the intelligence is doing, but don't say, I am this. Yeah? I am the cook. I am the accountant. I am the director. I am the teacher. Yeah? So feel that you are doing, again, like with the mother, you are doing the job. You are cooking for other people. You are organizing, and you are the administrator, or you are the teacher. You do this divine, precious job to serve other people. It's not about you. You do your duty. You do the best you can, and you let go. Okay? At least you have to try to practice that. And it will help if you identify with your with the divine self, with the Atman, or you can have a strong connection to God, knowing that God is doing everything. So it's easier for you then, if you have that devotion, to offer the result of your action. So that is one way of detachment according to Karma Yoga. The second way you can guess is called Bhakti Yoga detachment. Bhakti Yoga detachment means the yoga of devotion. Devotion means pure love. Pure love is not emotional. Pure love is the true self. So when you are emotional and you are attached to the emotions, doesn't mean that you are loving. It just means that you are attached to the emotional expression, the emotional high that comes from the object toward which your emotions are attached to. So you need to transform your emotions into the highest, purest kind of love called devotion. Let's say you are with somebody you don't like and you are attached to your emotions. You say, I don't like this person. I like that person more. And this person makes me angry. This person makes me happier. Your mind is always looking for the person that makes you happy and runs away from the person that makes you angry. This is how the emotions work. The emotions swing all the time. Either you run towards something out of the projection of pleasure, either you run away from something out of fear or out of pain. The emotion bring about the attachment to the past pleasure. You are attached to the past. When you ate the ice cream, you felt so happy. Yeah? So you are attached to the ice cream. Somebody said nice words to you, and you felt very sweet. You felt very important for that person, and then you get attached to them. So your attachment to an emotion, and we are very much emotional. So this attachment is the strongest. We are very emotional by nature. So we are full of attachment by nature. We are attached all the time. Bhakti Yoga taught us to turn this attachment into something helpful by getting attached to God, but detached from anything else. Bhakti Yoga helps an emotional person with lots of emotion and attachment tendency to be attached to God. So you just switch the emotion to devotion. Yeah, you sublimate the emotion into devotion, and for a person that is full of emotions, it's very difficult for them to talk about detachment, because their attachment always, they are drowned in the attachment. So when they are drowned in their attachment to a few people or to their surrounding or to their group or to their family, so then oftentimes when anything happens to these objects of attachment, then you become very depressed, very angry, very upset. So another person that is more open, they don't have so much attachment to their kin, and they're more calm. So okay. So try to detach, or I have to say again and again the same words, attach, detach. But it seems that our life is turning around this. Yeah. So I use another word now. So try to identify with yourself instead of with your emotions. Step back from your emotions, and recognize the new feeling that you might have from the detachment toward the emotions, instead of the expectation of satisfaction from your attachment. Okay, so all this you need to practice in order for you to feel stronger in your new path, new way, to free yourself from this bondage that comes from attachment. The third way of practicing detachment is called Raja Yoga kind of detachment. Raja Yoga says that you need to detach from thoughts. So it's a method of meditation. You sit quietly, you withdraw the senses, and you meditate and you concentrate. At that time, your attachment is your concentration on the pure ideal. So that's why when you have a mantra, you have an ideal. So you allow your mind to attach to that ideal. Yeah, you repeat the mantra, that is the name of your ideal. And then if thoughts come to your mind, you step back, you become detached, you observe the thought, you let it go, you don't get involved with the thought. So that's the Raja Yoga technique of detachment. You are detached from your own thoughts. You become the observer of your thoughts. You keep yourself concentrated. So the attachment here is the form of conscious concentration on sacred sound or sacred image. Okay, so technically your mind can think of only one thing at a time. So if you are attached to the mantra, you are detached from everything else. The sacred mantra induces sacred vibration and has the capacity to merge the meditator with the divine presence, which is the essence of the mantra. So that's the key. Okay? By attachment to the mantra or the sacred sound, because the sacred sound will reveal the essence of it, which is the divine presence. So when you attach to it, it transfers your attachment to everything else into the attachment to God and into the realization of the presence of the divine in your life, or your own transformation from this identity, the separate entity, identity of yourself into this divine realization who you are. So this is the explanation of how a mantra help. So Raja Yoga explained that if you concentrate on the mantra and you make the mind become very one-pointed, then only at that time you be able to meditate, and only at that time you merge into this ocean of bliss who you are. But if you allow your mind to wander in a lot of distraction, then it takes all your energy and leads you here and there, and you get lost in the thoughts. Okay? So Raja Yoga teach you to constantly focus, to be present, and to not be lost in the world of thoughts of your mind. So the last kind of detachment is called Jnana Yoga detachment. Okay, so it's a very big kind of practice in Jnana Yoga, or in the Yoga of Wisdom. Is the Yoga of Wisdom asking you to ask yourself the question, who am I? To discriminate between the self and the not self. Like I said, between the Sat and the Asat, between the truth and the non-truth. And by thinking, you have to think about it. If you believe something to be the truth, then you think about it and you see that it changes, so it's not the truth. And then you become detached from the untruth. Right? So, for example, if you are attached to the body, to your appearance or to your physical body, then you have to think that the body is constantly changing. The body is your instrument, is your sacred instrument to work out your karma in this life, but it is not you. So you have to think about the body keep changing, in order for you to be detached from the body and realize yourself that is beyond the life of the body and the death of the body, beyond this life. So Jnana Yoga detachment is asking you to ask the question, who am I? And detach from all the idea that you can come up with of who you think you are. So if you are detached from all the idea who you think you are, and what remain is yourself. So that is the logic behind. What kind of detachment you would do, it depends on your personality. If you are very attached to action, then you do Karma Yoga detachment. If you are very attached to emotions, then you do yoga detachment. If you are very attached to thinking, analyzing your thoughts, then you do Raja Yoga kind of detachment toward thoughts. And that means, like I said, concentration on high ideal, on a mantra, for example. If you are a person that is of a philosophical nature, and so then you can use your intellect in order to question yourself, who am I? Yeah? Then the detachment there will be the Jnana Yoga type of detachment. I mean, detachment toward everything that is unreal, that is changing, and attachment to the real, that is the self. Okay? So ideally is that we combine the 4 types of detachment as we combine the 4 types of yoga. So you don't become too extreme. And you are not rejecting any type, because you might identify to action, you might identify with emotion, you might identify with the thoughts, the thinking, with the intellect, but we all have everything. So then that's why we need to practice a different path of yoga all together. So to conclude, it's up to you to think about your type of attachment and how it would create suffering. I believe that I thought about this when I was very young. Yeah. I remember vaguely, I don't know which age, but it's since when I was very young, and I come up with this idea to share with you when I was very young. Kick it before it kicks you. What that means? You let it go before it drops you. Before that thing that you attach to would create problem to you, you let it go before. It's like you go to the boss and you say, I quit. Yeah? It's much better than the boss say to you, you're fired. So anyway, it says that future suffering should be avoided. If you know that your way will bring about the suffering, then it's much better that you avoid it by practicing actively the different types of detachment that I talked to you before. Okay, so it is difficult. I recognize it's difficult, a difficult topic. Yeah, but we need to talk about it rather than not talking about it. Okay, because this I have been taught out by the sages and by the yogis since a very long time. So we use their wisdom to think about our life. Okay, so now I'm going to cease talking, and I'm going to ask you to meditate a few minutes, since we did not meditate in the beginning. So please sit in a comfortable cross-legged posture if you can. If you sit on the chair, fine and good, but put your feet flat on the ground. Connect your hands. Don't touch anything around you. Okay, so don't try to escape the meditation. Try to meditate, even 5 minutes, okay? So close your eyes, close your senses. Try to have a good posture. Let go. Tell to yourself to let go. Let go of everything. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Long inhalation, bring more oxygen to your brain. Exhale completely all tension and fatigue and attachment. Inhale long and deep. Exhale completely. Inhale long and deep and exhale completely. Keep following your breath and try to calm your breath down in a natural manner. Allow your breath to calm itself down. Realize how precious it is, this life that comes with the breath. It is the sacred life that you have in order for you to progress in life. Allow your breath to calm itself down. That means that the breath is connected to the mind, connected to the prana that is connected to the mind. So when your breath calms itself down, mind also will calm down. You are no longer riding the roller coaster of your mind as all the waves calm down. Focus at the point in between your eyebrows or the point in the middle of your chest. These are advanced energy centers. So consciously focus on that one point. Bring all the energy there so you can pull the energy up. And you can gently repeat your mantra in your mind. Inhale, mantra Om. Exhale, mantra Om. If you have a particular mantra that you have been using and been initiated into, then please use a mantra. If not, inhale Om and exhale Om. Focusing on the point of focus that is in the psychic body, in your energy body. So keep the mind completely engaged in the mantra repetition and detach yourself from everything else. If any thought comes to the mind, just step back, observe it, let it go. Have the firm conviction that you need to go deeper within yourself. So let go of all thoughts, all tribulations in the mind. Let it go. Bring your attention back to your mantra or to your breath or to the inner silence and dive deeper and deeper within you. Find a place of silence, of peace and joy. Stay there. Become the silence itself. Become the joy deep within you. Become the love deep within you. Become the presence deep within you. Become the certainty, the existence, the self-confidence deep within you. Become the silence.
Ho